the A-Team, sponsored in part by Ford and your local Ford dealer, who invite you to see the 1986 Ford cars and trucks. Have you driven a Ford lately?
You'd never guess our three kids are from the same family. Take Larry. His car really fits his personality. Elegant and classy. Tony, he's very practical, yet style-conscious at the same time. And Shirley, sporty, contemporary. Some people follow trends. She starts them. Yeah, they've got different styles, all right. But they're all in the same family.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Feels so good. Coming down, down. Feels so good on this thirsty town. 7-Up splashing on the fun. Pouring good and clear on everyone. 7-Up feels so good. So good. 7-Up.
Next, Hunter makes a shocking discovery.
We're gonna get him for murder.
Dee Dee gets tough and struts her stuff, and the killer drives Hunter over the edge. Then, Stingray, the one to call when you can't call anyone else. Next.
Be there!
Wednesday on Highway to Heaven, Mark faces his toughest challenge.
Cancer was a man. I tear him limb from limb.
On an unforgettable 2-hour Highway to Heaven. Then on Black's Magic.
100th thou?
Has greed turned Pop into a murderer?
Why did you do it?
On Black's Magic.
Wednesday.
This is NBC News Digest. Here is John Hart, NBC News.
Good evening. It may be over in the Gulf of Sidra. The Libyans haven't fired at the Americans for almost a day, and the Pentagon says the U.S. fleet may leave the area early. President Reagan is sending $20 million of military help to Honduras on reports of Nicaraguan troops crossing into Honduras. Confirmation of the invasion is still pending. Now this.
Can of light beer for me and my friends to go.
For the biggest taste, there's only one light beer. Miller Lite.
On a bag of nuts. Thanks, guys.
President Aquino signed a temporary constitution for the Philippines that guarantees civil rights and gives her broad powers. Switzerland froze the bank accounts of Ferdinand Marcos. I'm John Hart in New York. More news later on this NBC station.
As you know, Mama's very upset. She locked herself in her bedroom. Her special Italian turnover, Pizza Hut's now got one for lunch, too. Calizza, they call it. No, Mama, I didn't give him the recipe. It's got 5 delicious cheeses, a tomato sauce, even a light crust, just like Mama's. And it's served in 5 minutes, guaranteed. I swear, Mama, I didn't.
Calizza Italian turnover at Pizza Hut.
She's never coming out.
I'm not in a phony salesman or fancy deals. I knew this Ford F-150 Explorer pickup was the toughest truck on the road, and I liked the idea I could get one with some of the lowest financing around. What I didn't realize is I could get super low financing and end up saving hundreds more on extras. What can I say? That Ford dealer was right on the money. My F-150 is a tough truck and a great deal, and that's a fact.
Quality people, quality products. See your local Ford dealer today.
Why the long fight to save Napoleon Hollow may be lost at 10.
You saying I killed her? You don't go around accusing Michael Varn of murder.
You're going to pay a hell of a price for it.
So, what do you think's the worst that could happen to us?
Why are you running around town like a rampaging baboon accusing me of murdering her?
So if he didn't do it and the burglary was a fake, then who killed her?
There's the man who did this. Sergeant Hunter, the DA has ordered me to arrest you and book you on a charge of felonious assault.
Hey, Blondie Blonde. There are better ways to go blind. Come on, you've been locked up in here with these numbers all day long. Haven't you heard? Somewhere out there is a happy hour with our name on it.
I'm not done yet. You go ahead.
We always go for a drink on Friday.
No, we don't, and it's Monday.
It is? Talk about a lost weekend. Wonder if I went home. Do I still have the same shirt on? Hey, wait a minute. I must have gone home. I shaved. You really like doing this, don't you?
No, I don't, but somebody has to do it.
No, you do. I can tell. Gives you a feeling of power. And why not? Numbers make the cash flow. Cash makes the wheels turn, the smoke stack, thighs part.
Addison, my God.
Isn't that redundant?
Do you know what this means? We're ahead.
You're kidding. The two of us? Together? Like Ray Milland and Rosie Greer in that awful movie?
$2,035.76 in the black.
Gosh, sis, does that mean we can save the farm and get Mom the heart operation she needs? It's okay if we only save the farm.
We made money. The first money we've made. Money we've made. That sounds so much nicer than money we've spent or money we've lost.
Sure does. Well, you are so beautiful when you get fiscal.
Get your hand off my behind.
Is that your behind? Is that my hand? You know, that's what I like about this place. You learn something new every day.
But you get serious.
Maddie, I just have my hand on your behind. If I get any more serious, they're going to move us to cable.
Help me think. We've got to do something with this money. Reinvest in the agency. Make a capital improvement to increase our productivity.
I've got it. Matching crocodile briefcases. Briefcase I? Wonder if it's going to be hard to find matching crocodiles.
Maybe an advertising campaign.
Or a new stereo for the company car. I can see it now. Laser disc, graphic equalizer, 300 watts per channel. I'm getting more productive just thinking about it.
David.
Maddie, I'm half serious.
What else is new?
I mean it. You know, there is nothing wrong with enjoying your success, rewarding yourself for your victories. In fact, I think that's what sets us apart from the communist nations of the world.
Not large bodies of water or major mountain ranges?
Think about the men who made America great. The Rockefellers, the Kennedys, the Ewings. You think every time they had a gusher, they went out and bought new drilling equipment? Hell no. They went out and gambled, got drunk, ran around women, and what did it get them?
Poverty.
Damn straight. Greatest motivator in a free world. But you do what you want. You put the money in the bank, reinvest, let it earn interest, get comfortable, stop blazing trails for America and the free world. Or you consider my plan, and you put your koozies in the executive bathroom. It's your country. You do what you want. Matty Hayes' office, one desk, under God, indivisible.
Give me that.
Big screen TV. We put it in the reception area.
This is Matty Hayes.
Clients can watch it while they're waiting for us.
Yes, officer.
Serve snacks during Monday Night Football.
Questioning.
Develop a whole new clientele.
Yes, I'll be right there.
Want to talk about it? What am I doing? I never ask. Doesn't look good. Mysterious fortune turns up. Police call. I just want you to know I'm behind you 100%. Matty, why'd you do it? Oh, I get it. You're shielding somebody. Well, kid, I guess you got to play your string right out to the very end. Want me to hide the booty? Ah, tough guy, eh? Well, the worst thing that can happen is they give it a gas chamber, which is not as bad as the electric chair. They shave your head for that. Maddie, come on. I'm running out of material. Will you tell me what's going on?
I don't know what's going on. The police want me for questioning.
You want me to go with you?
No.
You want to think about it?
Listen, I'll probably go home right afterwards. If I get any messages, call me. Otherwise, I'll see you in the morning.
Wait, Miss Hayes.
Maddie?
Yes.
Executive bonus? Just a thought.
You know him? He knew you.
What exactly did he die of?
Bullet through the heart. It appears to be self-inflicted. We were hoping you could shed some light on that. Ever seen it before?
How would I have seen it?
You never sat here.
I've never been here.
You know Charles?
Charles who?
The title of the painting is Charles's Treasure. I'm assuming you're the treasure.
Look, Lieutenant, I'm sorry, but I've never heard of Philip Wright. I've never seen this painting before. I've never been in this place before.
Don't be sorry. I'm just trying to figure out why an artist who struggled so hard for so long checks out just when things are starting to go his way.
I know that, Lieutenant, but people get depressed for a lot of reasons.
No argument. It's just when he died, he was painting your portrait. I mean, there he was, pistol in one hand, paintbrush in the other. He just finished. Paint was still wet. He called the gallery to let him know it was complete.
What are you saying?
I guess I'm saying I wanted to hear that you two knew each other, that he contacted you or tried to. He wrote, he called. And even though he was an artist of some repute, you said no. So, he did what he could to impress you. He painted your portrait. And when you remained unimpressed, he killed himself.
You make all that up or somebody help you?
I was a creative writing major in college. I admit it, I have an overactive imagination. You're sure you never heard of him?
I never heard of him.
Another great theory bites the dust. Still, it must feel nice.
What?
Well, he clearly adored you.
There goes that old imagination again.
Oh, come on, Miss Hayes. You don't paint like that unless you adore someone. It must feel odd finding out that someone you didn't even know was staring at your pictures for days, weeks, even months. He painted your portrait, the last portrait he would ever paint. That by tomorrow morning it'll be for sale in a gallery. Probably end up hanging over somebody's bar or in someone's den. Well, Miss Hayes, good night.
And where have you been, young lady? Sorry, she just walked in. I've been calling every prison in the state.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, sorry you're late. Do you realize how worried we've been? DePesso's been answering the phone in prose.
Excuse me.
You want to talk about it? It's okay, I'll talk about it. Well, for what it's worth, you don't look any worse for wear. Hair is combed, makeup's in place, no visible scars or contusions. Of course, they usually only mark the hard-to-see places. You wouldn't happen to need anybody to check those hard-to-see places, would you?
A man I never met killed himself last night.
And how you feel? A woman I never met had sex with a basketball team last night. You're right. It's not the same thing.
The police took me to his loft downtown. There were pictures of me everywhere. Hundreds of them. Pictures of me modeling. Pictures of me from the society pages. Pictures I don't even remember being taken. My whole career, my whole life was on that man's walls. It was so odd. Everywhere he looked, everywhere he turned, he saw me.
No wonder he killed himself.
He was an artist, David. And not a starving one either. They showed me this portrait he was painting when he died. It was a portrait of me. A portrait of me. They said he finished the portrait, then he shot himself.
Talk about temperamental artists. You're really upset about this, aren't you? Maddie, you didn't even know the man.
What if he cared for me? What if he loved me?
That has nothing to do with you. That is not your responsibility. Now, did he try and contact you?
No.
Did you reject him in any way?
How could I reject him? He didn't contact me.
Did you laugh the first time he got naked in front of you?
Oh.
You're clean as a whistle, Maddie. Guilt-free.
I'm talking about romance with a man who thinks that love is something you pay 25 cents to see in a private booth.
Private booth? What are you talking about? This is the age of video. Call me cynical, but I can think of more romantic gestures than painting a picture than blowing your brains out.
I'm talking about something ethereal, a love that's Unrequited.
I don't care what you call it. Killing yourself because you can't get a date with a homecoming queen is not the act of a sane person.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so. Otherwise, every kid would be dead before he graduated high school. Except the one with the most expensive car.
I'm gonna take a walk. I'm gonna take a drive. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Did I say something wrong?
Do you ever say anything right?
One little suicide and there's no talking to you. My goodness.
Summer in the city, back of my neck feeling dirty and dirty. Feels so good, so good. Come down, 7 Up, splashing on the fun. Pouring cool and clear on everyone. 7 Up, feels so good. Coming down. Feels so good. 7 Up.
Ernie! What's wrong?
Look at our oven!
You must be baking club crackers.
How'd you guess?
Club crackers bake up uncommonly light and flaky.
Boy, they sure do.
It's their light, flaky texture, perfectly blended with a light, buttery taste that makes Keebler Club crackers such a pleasure to eat.
They may be a pleasure to eat, but getting them out of the oven is no picnic.
Keebler Club crackers. Light, flaky, buttery tasting.
Here comes the one, the delicious one. Heinz is the thin, rich one. There's only one ketchup with this flavor pouring on. So thick, so rich, so second to none.
Only one ketchup stands for this kind of thickness with this kind of taste. Heinz.
Heinz is the thick, rich one.
And to bring out the best in your seafood, reach for the best tasting seafood cocktail sauce. Heinz.
Premiering Friday. Voila. He's a man with style and grace.
Oh, the bridal bouquet.
It wasn't easy catching that.
There's only one thing he doesn't have.
Paul is blind. Do you know who I really admire? Jose Feliciano.
I don't actually know Jose that well. Once in a while, we carpool.
A bright way to look at life. Mr. Sunshine, premiering Friday.
From the producer of Barney Miller, something different. Peter Boyle is Joe Bash. Premiering Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats. A boss lady who can balance my budget anytime. A woman who proves blondes do have more fun. A lady whose bottom line never sags. Miss Madeline, I can make a profit anywhere. Hey, let me have one.
What is going on?
A meeting.
Meeting?
Yeah, a meeting, you know. Wall Street holds them, Hollywood takes them. Secretaries make them, bosses cancel them. Kind of like talking to yourself, only with a gang. And what a meeting it was. Ooh, we got an agenda, we got minutes, we got coffee, we got Danish.
What's this all about?
I'm glad you asked me that, Randy. The purpose of this morning's session, and I might add it has been an extremely productive one, has been to brainstorm.
To what storm?
Funny. Hurtful, but very funny. No, Maddie, the question that we have been trying to postulate and hypothesize is what are we going to do with all that money?
What money?
What a kidder. What money? You know what money? Our money. The profit statement, the plus column, the bottom line.
David.
Now, we got Mr. Pesto over here combing the mail order catalog.
Oh, my.
We got O'Neill scouring the classifieds.
He is?
And we got my main potato, Ferguson, has agreed to cruise for garage sale this weekend. Let me have one.
May I see you in my office for a moment?
It's okay. We're her first meeting. Yes?
Yes, what?
You asked me to come in here.
Uh-huh. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I spent the money.
You spent the money? All of it? Well, okay. It's your store. Your money. What'd you get?
Excuse me?
What did you get? Now, I'm sure whatever it is something that's for the good of the company. What'd you blow it on? Stocks, bonds, Elvis memorabilia?
Well, I believe I made a sound and prudent investment.
In what?
I invested it in art.
Could you turn up the volume a little, please?
Art.
Did you say art?
Art.
Could you be a little more specific?
I purchased a painting.
A painting?
A painting I feel sure will increase in value with the years.
I see. A painting of what?
A painting of what?
A painting of what?
Of a thing.
Could you be a little more specific?
A pretty thing.
An animal thing, a vegetable thing, or a mineral thing?
An animal thing.
Little cat, big eyes.
No.
A boy and his dog.
What difference does it make?
A blonde and her vanity.
It's my money, Edison, and I can do anything I want with it.
Wait a second, let me get this straight. One of the most photographed women in the world goes out and spends the only money she ever made doing anything other than saying cheese and buys, lo and behold, another picture of herself.
Out of my way.
Maddie, will you just tell me why?
I don't know why. All I know is he chose to paint me. Me, David. Not a landscape, not a barn, not a bowl of fruit.
Let's not hold that against him.
He spent weeks, months painting it. The last moments of his life, finishing it. I can't let someone else buy it, put it in their den or over their bar. Surely you can understand that. Well, I don't really care if you can understand it or not. The point is that the money belongs to the company, and the company belongs to me, and I can choose to do anything I want with it. Or I may choose to do nothing with it, or I may choose to flush it down the executive commode. But whatever I choose, it'll be my choice. Is that clear?
Alles klar, Herr Kommissar.
Good. Then this conversation is over.
Not quite. I have one more question.
What?
Next windfall we get, can I stick a statue of myself in the lobby?
Stick it, Addison. Get away from that door! I have finished this conversation! You asked for it. Excuse me.
Mercedes, this is Charles Wright.
Miss Hayes, forgive me for barging in like this.
Excuse me, Charles Wright?
I'm Philip Wright's brother.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. Won't you come in? Please. I'm so sorry to hear about your brother.
I really don't know why I'm here. I got home late last night. As soon as I got the wire, I've been out of the country for a while. I went to the gallery. They told me about Charlie's treasure. I guess you figured out by now that I'm Charlie. You fight with your brother, he paints a picture for you. Philly and I hadn't even spoken to each other for a long time.
Would you like to see it? The painting?
Is it here?
Well, no. It's at my house. But I want you to see it.
You don't even know me.
Mr. Wright and I will be at my house.
Yes, Mercedes.
He was in there for a minute and a half. How'd he do that?
You haven't hung it yet. I haven't exactly decided where I want it.
My God, Philip.
Makes me feel like crying.
You never met him. You never sat for him. My God, Philip. You've been very kind.
Where are you going?
Excuse me?
I feel badly. I know what you must be going through. If you'd like some more time with the painting by yourself, feel free.
No, that's okay. It's not that I don't appreciate it's harder knowing that I'll probably never see it again. You fight with somebody, and in the back of your mind you say to yourself, one of these days I'm going to have to attend to this. And then one of these days you find yourself in a hotel room trying to find American baseball scores in Italian newspapers, and a cable comes. Upside is that it's one less thing to attend to. Downside is that there's a lot of downside. I always thought your voice was lower.
Excuse me?
In those commercials, you never spoke, so I gave you my own voice, and it was lower, huskier. You also were not this nice.
gave a lot of thought to those commercials.
Well, it wasn't the commercials. It was you. And I wasn't the only one. I remember when I was 20, Philly was 19, we decided to do the starving student thing in Europe, you know, with the hostels, French bread, the backpacks. And I remember one night we were in Paris, cold as hell. And we'd been together for 6 weeks. So the hate level was very high. And I mean, it was Paris. You don't want to be in Paris with your brother. You want to be with... Anyway, it's cold as hell, and everywhere you look are these rich Parisian couples in their thick, beautiful, warm coats, and they're hugging and holding each other. And there we were, 2 guys in the city of lights alone. Walked back to the hotel. More depressing hotel you couldn't imagine. Walked across the lobby, past a newsstand. And there you were. On the cover of, I don't know which magazine. And Philly just looked at you. Then he turned to me and he said, "Home." I just looked at him and I said, "Yeah."
Charles, I want you to have it.
What?
I want you to have it. I want you to have it. I think maybe he painted it for you.
Wait a second. I don't even know you. You paid good money for it.
You're right. I own it. But it doesn't belong to me. Please. Hello?
Miss Hayes? Sorry to wake you in the middle of the night, but we have a little situation here. I was wondering if you can come down and give us a hand.
Lieutenant, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
I know that, Miss Hayes, but I really think you'll want to see this.
Love.
You marry me, or I'll jump off this curb.
Tenderness.
I am going to lie down on the track until you say yes.
Devotion.
Or until I hear a train coming.
These are the qualities that keep a relationship together when everything else is falling apart. For everyone who's ever been deeply in love.
Honey, you're on my fingers.
Or deeply in debt. Steven Spielberg presents The Money Pit, a Richard Benjamin film, rated PG. Starts Wednesday at select theaters.
Let's face it, I have a big appetite for life, and I don't want anyone telling me how to live it. The world is my oyster. That's why I carry MasterCard. It opens up all the possibilities and puts me in the driver's seat. Imagine all of life's possibilities with a great one at the wheel.
No cazzo.
Thank you. MasterCard. Oh, sweet it is. MasterCard. Master the possibilities.
Wednesday.
The truth on that, Stan.
Yeah, and they didn't believe me.
If I lied, you taught me how to do it.
What is the penalty for perjury?
I've reached a decision. Dynasty. Then.
What's the bottom line?
We're lost.
A day in the country. A night of despair.
Don't leave me, Peter.
Hotel. Tomorrow.
Moonlighting will continue in a moment.
Our son is not a murderer.
He's enjoying this. I could have done it.
The Colbys, Thursday.
An ABC News business brief. Now from New York, Dan Kortz.
Good evening. The Consumer Price Index last month took its biggest drop in 3 decades, led by plunging food and gasoline prices. But orders for durable goods were also down due to a steep decline in orders for defense equipment. Sales of existing homes were off slightly, And U.S. car sales in mid-March fell 17% after expiration of manufacturers' bargain loans. A new study says the average American family will shell out 1/3 of its income for federal taxes this year. On New York financial market, the Dow lost 4 points. Interest on T-bills was unchanged. Gold dropped another $7, and the dollar rose sharply again. That's Business Brief. I'm Dan Kortz.
WXRT's records look like this because WXRT doesn't play the same song over and over again until the record looks like this.
93 WXRT Chicago.
At Lorianne's baby shower, her mother gave her a stroller, her mother-in-law a portable crib, and her friends from work just about everything else. But the most practical, comfortable, and exciting gift came from her husband, Richard. A Honda Civic 4-door family sedan to carry everything home in.
Going back to school after my divorce was a lonely and frightening experience. But reading the article in your magazine about new careers for women really made a big difference for me. It wasn't easy. But I decided if other women can do it, so can I.
Women's Day magazine. Personal news women can use.
Thank you, Women's Day.
Can an Academy Award make or break an actor's career? Roger Ebert talks to the winners and losers tonight at 10 on Eyewitness News.
Honestly, I've told you everything I know.
He just showed up at your office, said he wanted to see the picture, and you showed it to him. A man you never met before.
He said he'd been out of the country. He said he just heard about his brother's suicide, and he wanted to see his last
And you
work.
just gave him the picture.
The man was grieving.
The man was lying. Charles Wright is an international art thief. He wasn't overseas. He was up the river. He'd been released from prison just hours before he came to see you.
Let's just hold it right there, shall we? My client isn't answering any more of your questions.
You just can't burst in here like that.
Oh, no? Tell that to the writers. Besides, how would you like me to burst in?
Is this man your attorney?
You don't have to answer that.
Yes, no.
How am I going to help you if you won't take my advice?
Who is this man?
The name's Addison. David Addison, but you can call me Mr. Addison.
Mr. Addison is my business associate. Well, you told me I had one call. This is who I called.
Would you like another one?
Excuse me, but it's 2:30 in the morning, and I'd like to know why my colleague is being held and why it isn't by me.
Charles Wright was found dead this evening. The wounds appear to be self-inflicted, but in light of the circumstances...
You saying he killed himself?
Huh?
He wasn't perusing a certain portrait at the time, was he? This must be one hell of a picture. What'd he do, pull a gun right there in your living room?
He was found dead in his brother's loft.
Wait a minute, you lost me. How did he get into his brother's loft?
That's what I'd like to know.
And how'd the painting get there?
I gave it to him.
You what?
I gave it to him.
You gave it to him?
I gave it to him.
For
free.
For free? Maddie, that was a $2,000 painting.
My $2,000, my painting, to do with as I wish, and I wish to give it to him. How could I not give it to him? It's Charlie's treasure, and he's Charlie. Don't you see? I didn't have any choice. You should have seen the pain on his face. Look, I don't know why those two men killed themselves, and I don't know why Charles took the painting back to the loft, but I will tell you what I do know. That man loved his brother, and his brother loved that painting, and that's why I gave it to him.
He loved it so much he removed some of the paint to see what was underneath.
He did what?
I'm sorry, but we're clearly dealing with more than just one brother painting a painting for another.
Yes, well, I'd like to go home now, David.
Of course, and you can have this back.
Thank you.
Just one more thing, Miss Hayes. 2 men have died over that painting, one a convicted criminal. And until the coroner verifies these suicides, this case is still very much open. So I'm going to ask you not to leave town.
Has it ever occurred to you that the reason this town is crawling with so many crooks is because you never let them leave town? That's it. I've said my piece. I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
Okay.
Just because his brother turned out not to be what he seemed to be
Yeah, to
doesn't
use an
mean
art
anything else has changed. I know in my heart of hearts why Philip Wright painted that portrait of me.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of him standing there painting, finishing the portrait, consumed with sadness, picking up the gun, pulling the trigger.
You love this, don't you? Come on, Maddie, admit it. You really think this is great.
No, I do not think this is great. In fact, I find this terribly sad.
And just a little romantic, of course.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Maddie, admit it. Wouldn't you be just a tad disappointed if you knew that he didn't kill himself because of you? That he shot himself because he couldn't pay his gas bill?
No, I wouldn't be disappointed. And besides, that's not what happened. Philip Wright died for me.
Yeah. Right. A lucky stiff.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking about us poor slobs who live for you. Not how Jehovah's Witness feels. Thanks for walking me home, Mr. Addison.
I have nothing more to say to you.
Yeah, I know, for weeks now.
When I do, I'll holler.
I'll be waiting.
David!
That was fast.
Oh, my goodness.
The Helen Keller look. I like it.
Who could have done this?
Where's the Duchess?
You didn't tell me you were living with anybody.
Where's the Duchess?
Why aren't you going to introduce me?
I've gone through every room in this house. I want the Duchess. And I want her now.
I don't even know who the Duchess is.
Not who? What? The painting, the Duchess. I know it's here.
The only painting I know anything about is this one, Charlie's Treasure. And you're welcome to it.
Please.
Don't be offended. What's he know?
I was curator of the National Gallery Française for 7 years.
Big deal. Your uncle probably got you the job.
Enough jokes. I want that painting. Now. Where did Philip tell you it was?
Philip? I never met Philip. The first I heard of Philip was the night he killed himself.
But he must have told you. You're Charlie's Treasure.
No.
I'm all confused.
It's a big club. In the first place, what is the Duchess?
It's a very famous, very valuable painting. 17th century. Worth $750,000, maybe $1 million. 3 years ago, Mr. Charles Wright called me. Spends a lot of time in Paris. We have mutual friends. Can we get together? We do. And voila. A great friendship is born. One night, we're high, feeling good. He says to me, let's get the Duchess. I had no idea what he meant. Steal it, he says. Charles had done this before. But me, I'm a natural-born coward. But I'm curator, and he needs me to get in and out of the museum. But he tells me he wants to include his brother. An artist, nobody knows him. Now, I start to get a little nervous. So I tell them, if it's to be you two and me, then I've got to hold the painting until it cools.
Cool.
Yeah. You can't just turn around and sell a hot painting while the whole world is looking for it. No. You have to give it time to cool. So, fine, they said. You hold the painting. Go to Amsterdam, sit with it. And when the time is right, you sell it and we'll split the profits.
So now it's 3 years later.
A long 3 years. I'm in Amsterdam. Philip's artistic career has begun to happen. And Charles is arrested for trying to sell an unauthentic Ming vase to some museum in Indiana. Anyway, I managed to strike a deal for the Duchess with a man from Kuwait. The deal is closed. He gives me the money, I give him the painting, and then we both discover that it's a forgery. Painted by...
Philip.
Yeah.
So you rush back to America and kill him?
I rushed back. But I didn't kill anybody. Philip was already dead when I found him.
What about his brother?
Due out of prison the next day. But I don't think he knew any more about it than I did. No. Yeah.
obviously knew where the painting was. He also obviously knew someone was after it. Now, my guess is that he left a note for his brother that only his brother could understand. I'm convinced that Charlie's treasure is that note.
What does it mean?
The portrait is of you. You tell me.
I don't know. I swear.
You must!
I don't.
Where is
I don't know where
Where?
David?
I'm no good at this. I cheated connect the dots.
I swear to you, I don't have a clue. Did you check in that dresser?
Dresser? That dresser? You mean that dresser actually exists?
Yes, in the loft.
I bet I know where we're going.
Upstairs.
Say the magic word.
Move or I'll kill you.
There you go. That guy had hiccups? Hey, I know her. Any idea what he's looking for?
A clue.
Okay, give me one.
Give me one what?
Give me a clue what he's looking for.
A clue.
I'm waiting.
For what?
To find out what the man is looking for.
The man is looking for a clue. A clue, a clue, a clue.
Gesundheit.
I found it. It's a bill of lading for canvas storage.
What riveting news.
No. This is great. Philip left this bill of lading in the dressing table and then did the painting to make sure that his brother would look for it there and find it. The bill of lading is the address where the original is stored. This all makes sense. Charlie's treasure is a map to the White Duchess.
So what happens now?
I pick up my painting and fly off to Amsterdam as quickly as I can.
No, I mean to us.
Oh, take heart, friends. I meant what I said. I'm not a killer. That doesn't mean that I can't start now, though. If you'll do the honors. Nice and tight. Ouch! Ah. Let's see you in that pose that made you famous. I'm sure somebody will come along and untie you. Someday. Somehow. Adieu. Adieu.
I feel so stupid.
Gee, you look so soft and supple.
It wasn't my portrait they were after at all. It wasn't my picture they'd lie for, that they'd die for.
Yeah, that must come as a major disappointment.
Somebody's adding sugar and salt to your cereal before you eat it. That's because most cereals come with sugar and salt already in them, up to 26 added teaspoons a box. But not Nabisco shredded wheat. It's the only leading ready-to-eat cereal with no added sugar and no added salt. Just the delicious taste of 100% toasted whole wheat. Now, if somebody's going to decide to add something to your cereal, shouldn't it be you? Nabisco shredded wheat, and nothing else.
Nabisco. Over 100,000 drivers have participated in a series of nationwide surveys to determine the quality of vehicles designed and built in America.
The surveys measured nearly all makes and models. Models as old as 81 and as recent as 84.
Including ours.
And as a group, Crown Link
Lincolns and our Mercuries and our Ford cars and trucks were found to be the highest quality vehicles designed and built in America.
How about that, America?
That's what happens when you make quality job one.
Quality is job one.
Aren't you glad to know you'll be your best today? Aren't you glad there's a dial to make you feel that way? Aren't you glad for being together? Aren't you glad when people smile?
Confidence, clean through the day. That's Dial.
Aren't you glad?
Are you gonna marry my sister?
Aren't you glad?
Be the first to know.
You use Dial.
Friday.
What she needs is a good party to cheer her up.
Webster helps a friend in need.
What party?
The night of 1,000 moms.
Then Mr. Belvedere gets that old school spirit.
Now who's got the power?
We do?
Who's got the heat?
Us again?
Who's got the heat and the gas and the sizzle?
Come, come, Beaverton, make them fizzle.
Mr. Belvedere.
We pulled the wool over Mrs. Johnson's eyes.
What's this?
Feel.
This is okay, but this pink side's much softer, fresher.
The white side's washed in your brand, the pink side in new Delicare.
Delicare?
Only Delicare's got an exclusive fabric softening, freshening formula. Brand W cleans, Delicare cleans better, and leaves fine fabrics feeling softer, smelling fresher.
You're right. I'm switching to cleaner, softer, fresher care. I'm switching to Delicare.
Cleaner, softer, fresher care. New Delicare.
It's a job where you just can't put up with a headache.
People are telling us about the Nuprin difference.
I use Nuprin instead of Tylenol. The difference is that Nuprin relieves pain better.
Nuprin works great, and it doesn't upset my stomach like aspirin.
Nuprin contains the non-prescription strength of the medicine in Motrin tablets. Compared to the regular strengths of aspirin or Tylenol, Nuprin has more pain-relieving strength.
There's a difference with Nuprin. It gives me better pain relief.
Nuprin, the difference you can feel.
Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing thing.
Burger King introduces chicken tenders, real fillets of all-white meat chicken breast, not processed like nuggets. Delicious chicken fillets cooked in pure vegetable oil.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
New chicken tenders from Burger King, not chicken nuggets, real chicken fillets.
I'll see you guys later at the diner, okay?
Kevin Bacon, Steve Guttenberg, Mickey Rourke.
No way he pulls this off.
A special network television premiere, Diner, Thursday.
An ABC News business brief. Now from New York, Dan Courts.
Good evening. The Dow Jones average tumbled 28.5 points today to close under 1,800. Oil prices slid below $10 a barrel before rebounding on news the administration wants Saudi Arabia to stop the price collapse. Factory orders in February showed their biggest decline in a year and a half, but construction spending rose. The government today fined Union Carbide a record $1.3 million for safety violations at its West Virginia plant. Most business leaders surveyed by the conference board are optimistic about the economy, but don't plan new hires. On New York financial markets, interest on T-bills was unchanged. Gold rose $3 and the dollar finished higher. That's Business Brief. I'm Dan Courts.
Between love and madness lies obsession. Calvin Klein's obsession.
Ah, the feel of it.
At Carson Peary Scott.
Tonight on Eyewitness News at 10.
What they're doing right now is they're trying to make us the guinea pigs.
Mandatory drug testing in the sheriff's office meets with resistance as those sworn to uphold the law refuse to be tested for violating it. Jay Levine has the story. Also at 10, it's Sheer Madness. The longest-running show in Chicago history turns the spotlight on Hollywood as celebrities come to town to raise money for another long-running cause. Tonight at 10 on Eyewitness News.
Ain't nothing like the real thing. Oh, no.
Burger King introduces real fried chicken. New chicken tenders.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
Not processed like nuggets. All white meat chicken breast fillets.
Ain't nothing like the real thing.
New chicken tenders from Burger King.
You're a
about to see an unusual race. 3 European performance sedans against the Toyota Cressida.
Go get him, Jay.
The Cressida is a luxury car with limousine style, comfort, and features. And the Cressida's independent suspension and electronically fuel-injected twin-cam 6 fits right in with its European counterparts. The Toyota Cressida. It's up with the best of them in every way but one. Price.
Did we win, James? By about $15,000, sir.
Who could ask for anything more? Toyota.
Harold, what you buy?
Mushroom.
Mushrooms.
Introducing Magic Mushroom, the long-lasting air freshener from Airwick.
Ooh, it's cute.
And it works as good as it looks for over a month.
Cute in the kitchen.
And it works as good as it looks.
Cute in the bathroom.
And it works as good as it looks. Only Magic Mushroom has the new centimeter system to meter the scent continuously, as effective day 1 is day 30.
Magic Mushroom works as good as it looks.
And it's cute. Magic Mushroom, the long-lasting air freshener from Airwick.
Milk's got the kick that gives you more. Health kick. More nutrition in every pore. Health kick. I'm watching my weight and milk fits right in, 'cause it's loaded with calcium and vitamins. Kick. So get on the Health Kick and let it pour. America's favorite Health Kick. Get on the Health Kick. Milk's got more. Have more milk, 'cause milk's got more. The clean look, it's the cover girl look. It's today's look.
CoverGirl Clean Makeup is good to my skin. It's the only makeup that's Noxema clean. I get the natural color and coverage I want and the look of good skin. The clean look.
The clean look, so fresh, so alive, and so beautiful.
For the good skin look of today, CoverGirl Clean Makeup.
The clean look, the clean look.
3 women
Think of this as an adventure.
letting go,
There's nothing wrong with you trying to have a little pleasure.
living out their fantasies, pleasures. Monday.
We'll be back in a moment.
Why would somebody sell $1 million house for $200,000?
Steven Spielberg presents a Richard Benjamin film for anyone who has ever been deeply in love.
We are broke and in deep.
Or deeply in debt.
Somebody here call a carpenter?
Tom Hanks, Shelley Long.
Morning!
Alexander Goodenough. The Money Pit, rated PG. Now at select theaters. Check newspapers.
Working hands, helping hands. Hands that got to boogie along. At McDonald's, our hands are busy too. Busy making biscuits for you.
McDonald's buttermilk biscuit sandwiches, sizzling sausage or bacon, a fresh egg, and melted cheese.
They're taking breakfast by the hand all over the land. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's.
Fresh baked biscuits, our way of lending a hand.
Step into spring with the J.C. Penney white shoe sale. Get out of the winter blues and into sleek white shoes from Sutton Plaza, She-Bob's, and Ipanema. There are East Fifth dress sandals and slingbacks that will put you on the right track. The J.C. Penney white shoe sale. It'll put a little spring in your step.
Smarter than ever, J.C. Penney.
Our son is not a murderer.
He's enjoying this. I could have done it.
The Colbys, Thursday.
Thursday on 2020, why most of us are dissatisfied with our bodies, even if we look terrific.
I think I'm too fat.
Watch 2020.
Thursday.
We've never really trusted one another. I know you, you know me.
And you think that eventually one of us is going to double-cross the other?
Next, on Dynasty.
Amanda's in a lot of pain, and I'm very worried about her.
The day I answer to you, Crystal, will be the day that I let up on Blake, and that'll be never.
Martin Gaines is demanding that I resign as chairman of the board. Can't let this break me. Lexus is out for blood. That's just what she's going to get. Hers and my brother's.
Textbooks for terror. They're as close as your bookstore. Watch 2020 Thursday.
An ABC News Brief brought to you by Volkswagen. Now from Washington, Sam Donaldson.
Good evening. The full dimensions of the border fighting in Honduras between Nicaraguan troops and U.S.-backed Contra rebels is still unclear, but the Contras are claiming victory. Sandinista prisoners captured by the Contras were put on display today in the capital of Honduras. The Contras claim they've killed 200 of the attacking Sandinistas. Under the authorization of President Reagan, American helicopters today ferried Honduran troops to within 10 miles of the fighting. But so far, the Hondurans have not joined the fray. Reports suggest the Sandinistas may be pulling back to Nicaragua. Later on Nightline, with the Senate about to vote on aid to the Contra rebels, a look at whether the Nicaraguan incursion is helping President Reagan's cause. Now this.
Out of the blue, my son calls and says, Dad, you know, if you buy a new Wolfsburg limited edition Golf, Volkswagen will give you up to a year's interest back on your car loan. And I said, Jeffrey, we should speak like this more often.
There's been no new fighting in the Gulf of Sidra, but State Department officials are warning that Libyan agents have been keeping American installations under surveillance, and this could lead to more terrorist attacks. Photos were released of earlier action off the Libyan coast, showing a Russian-made Libyan missile boat destroyed by the American 6th Fleet. A top Air Force general has told Congress the shuttle explosion has created a national emergency. To correct the situation, the Air Force wants $6 billion for 10 new expendable rockets and a new shuttle to launch military satellites. That's News Brief. More news later on this ABC station.
On any given day, some 4,000 people come to Cub Foods because of assured minimum pricing. This creates an interesting side effect, fresher produce. Since we have more customers, we have to restock our shelves more often with fresh fruits and vegetables. No other store can say that, because no other store has assured minimum pricing. So if getting high-quality fresh produce at the lowest price is important to you, you're in good company, and lots of it, at Cub Foods. It's a new way to run a supermarket.
Brand names for less at Marshall's.
Smart.
Smart for women, for men, for kids too. The more you compare, the more you'll agree at Marshall's you're buying smart.
Look smart, work smart, go smart, so smart, Marshalls.
Call for the store nearest you.
Now that's smart.
New Miami Vice Fashions tonight at 10.
You look like you're all set for the Indy 500. Just a rally to Yosemite. Probably a practice run for the Grand Prix.
Well, that's what happens when you thirst for life in the fast lane.
Come on, you guys. You know we never even go over the speed limit. McDermott insisted moments before he and his Spider Roadster left on a grueling race over torturous terrain.
And think of what awaits him at the finish line. gorgeous blonde, a magnum of champagne.
Knowing my luck, it's 4 new tires and a lube job.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem. The management's negotiating team checks in at 12:30. Labor won't be here till 2.
Morning, Mr. McDermott's office. No, he's not in today. It's his day off. His what? Navigator?
What if they meet in the lobby? Well, then I guess they'll have to say hello. It's not as if they're at war. They are.
Are you in for Marty Yamagata? He says it's urgent.
Yeah, I'll take it to my office. You remind them that the lobby's a demilitarized zone. Huh?
He'll be right with you.
Marty. Yeah, I just have to pick up the car and I'll meet you in, What? She didn't. Both front teeth. Must have been one hell of a line drive. She's gonna be okay, isn't she? Well, great. Well, you tell her I still think she's the best shortstop in Little League. With the rally, well, I'll make some calls. Maybe I can find someone.
Anything serious?
Medicine always is, Victoria.
That's what your father used to say. I think he'd be pleased.
Everything's perfect, Victoria. Your blood pressure's right on the mark. Your heart's good and strong.
I understand yours has missed a few beats lately. We've known each other a long time, Michael. You used to call me Aunt Vicky, remember? I want to help.
Well, it has been tough, especially for Jody. The kid's hurting more than any of us.
The publicity certainly hasn't helped.
And neither have her aunt and uncle. They don't seem to care how she feels as long as they win.
If it's any consolation, I'm 100% behind you and Alex. But what if things don't work out?
Jody's mother wanted Alex and me to raise her. I just can't believe that a judge would go against her wishes, or Jody's either.
If you need me for anything, I make a great character witness.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. It's very pretty.
Now, don't forget, Jody, you have to be extra careful when you and your little friends play with this.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you want to try it out? To see how the lights work?
I tried them already.
Well, no matter what we do, it just won't please her.
Because she's not getting her own way. She's just a little girl. She has no understanding of what's involved here. But we're not playing games, Nora. It's her life.
I know that, dear. I just can't help wondering what her life will be like if she's so unhappy.
A whole lot better than living with two queers.
Any other day, I'd jump at the chance, but today's a killer. Well, what's Mark's schedule like? Ever plan a wedding reception for triplets? Be careful, he's a desperate man. I must have made a dozen calls. Everybody's got a partner. Without a navigator, I'm not allowed to run the race.
What does Navigator do?
Reads the map. It gets us to the checkpoints on time. Say the instructions say, go so many miles and then turn left at the clump of trees.
Wait a minute. A Navigator checks the forest for the trees?
How about it? You know, if we hurry, we can make my start time.
I don't know the first thing about rallying.
It's easy. You'll pick it up in no time.
Do I have a choice? Ugh. I get a monogrammed crash out?
Mm-mm.
What's today? Free dress?
El Capitan waits for no man.
Yosemite. And who's going to mind the store?
Oh, it's just for today. I'm going to be his navigator.
How does one sail to Yosemite?
It's a road rally. Christine was the only one I could find.
You're being complimentary. Have fun.
Judge wants to see us in chambers tomorrow.
He didn't waste much time.
Are you worried?
Of course I am. We're the only family Jody has. If you think I'm going to sit back and let two homosexuals raise her, you've got another guess coming.
That little girl's testimony was very convincing.
She was brainwashed by her mother. She and I never got along.
Well, don't forget public opinion. This city is not exactly clamoring to see you win.
Wheeler Suite, please. They're gonna think we're ganging up on her. We want to see Jody. We have a right to visit.
Hello?
Hi there, kiddo.
Hi, I called before and left a message on your machine.
We got it loud and clear.
Are you and Dr. Mike coming to kidnap me?
Hold on, the doc wants to say hello. Hi. I guess you know tomorrow's the big day.
I wanted to be there, but Aunt Nora said I wouldn't understand. She thinks I'm a baby, Mike. I better get off.
May I, please? Who is this?
It's Dr. Vaughn.
You were told to stay away from the child.
But you and your husband, not the court.
What is she saying?
You may have temporary...
Let's go up there.
Alex, it's only one more day. Tell Jody we'll call her back. Alex, will you calm down, please?
They're keeping the kid a prisoner.
They just don't want her to see us right now. Everything will be resolved tomorrow.
Mike, it's not fair.
Fairness isn't on trial.
Then what the hell is? Our king-size bed?
By the way, why aren't we taking your beautiful Porsche?
I save it for dates. Now, don't forget, we got to hit 25 landmarks between here and Yosemite.
All right, let me see if I got this. And at every fifth one, there's a checkpoint.
Right.
And the first car that pulls in with all of them marked off wins.
I told you this was easy.
It says you lose points if you go over the speed limit.
Go!
Didn't think you were going to make it, Peter. See, you got yourself a new navigator.
Yeah, lady's a crackerjack. They call her the Oklahoma Kid.
He's in your hands now, kid.
Thanks. Can I open this?
Not until you get your start, which should be just about... Now, go!
Hey, listen to these instructions. Take Great Burnham Wood to High Dunsinane Hill, then follow the track right past the Rill.
The what?
How'd you get into rallying, anyway?
Figured it was a good way to meet women. Kind with steely nerves.
Now, Jody, we'll be right downstairs if you need us. You're not eating. I thought you'd like that.
I'm not hungry.
She didn't eat her lunch either.
Jody. Your aunt and I love you. We're only trying to do what's best.
For you, maybe, but not for me. Just because they're homosexuals doesn't mean that they don't know how to take care of me.
Now, Jody, please, dear. You don't even know what that word means.
You always say that, but I do. Mom explained everything before she died. She told me. She did.
All we want is for you to have a normal, healthy childhood.
I'm healthy. I got all my shots.
Don't be fresh. Now, you know what I mean.
No, I don't. It's a free country. Everyone says so. But you won't even let me talk to them.
Jody, you come back here and apologize.
Mom said I could live with them, but you don't care about that because she's dead. And I wish you were too.
Jody, Jody, come here. Come here, I want to talk to you. Everything's going to be all right. Everything will be fine, you'll see.
better turn around. See if we can find our way back to the highway.
Peter, watch out!
Peter. Peter! Peter! Peter!
The way cheap phones break down, the companies that make them must do some pretty interesting tests.
Hear me?
I hear you. I heard something.
Real torture tests. And ring tests.
I heard it. What did you hear? I heard it. I didn't hear it. Are you sure you heard it? I heard it.
Well, for over 100 years, AT&T's made phones that pass the real test. You.
It's nothing. I dropped the phone.
You get what you pay for. AT&T, the right choice.
Any real estate company can find you a house, but not everyone can find you a house and the money to finance it. Any company can tell you your home's in perfect condition. One offers you the buyer protection plan. Any company can try to sell your house. One has the seller security plan that assures if they don't sell it, they'll buy it. That one is ERA. There is a difference in real estate companies. For more information, contact the ERA office nearest you.
Winnie, it's easy. Give 110%, expect 110%. From yourself, everyone, everything. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. That's its edge. Why? It has no alcohol, and alcohol evaporates. Speed Stick protection doesn't evaporate even after 24 hours. Glides on in just a few strokes. That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
Fine men. Premiering Friday. Voila. He's a man with style and grace.
Oh, the bridal bouquet.
It wasn't easy catching that.
There's only one thing he doesn't have.
Paul is blind. Do you know who I really admire? Jose Feliciano.
I don't actually know Jose that well. Once in a while, we carpool.
A bright way to look at life. Mr. Sunshine, premiering Friday.
Peter, please say something.
You okay?
How's your head?
You mean it's still screwed on? We could have been killed.
Yeah, well, we're still alive, okay?
That's what I love about you. Always looking at the bright side.
Peter, we gotta get you to a doctor.
We stopped by the body shop on the way.
Why don't you throw something? Yell at me. Just get it off your chest.
I can't take too much more of this, okay?
More of what? Everyone at the magazine thinks you're a hero, and half of my patients think I've got the plague. So what gives you the right to complain?
Look, you keep everything to yourself. You always have. A lot of good it does.
Right. Make me the heavy. I'm sorry.
It's just all this pressure. Hello? God loves everybody, mister. Fags included.
Will you stay still? This is a nasty cut.
I'm okay.
Any luck? Maybe we should just head out on foot.
According to the auto club, it'd take us hours. It's a good 10 miles to the highway and 15 to the nearest town.
And just a couple of yards to Francis's famous fried chicken.
Now you're talking.
Smashing up your car just to get a girl alone on a country road.
Well, you know me, I like to do things in a big way. Besides, running out of gas isn't nearly as convincing.
I get the feeling you're enjoying this.
Stuck out here in the boonies with the Oklahoma kid?
One day you'll understand how much we love you. She's going to have to be punished for this.
I know.
We have to be strong, for Jody's sake.
Or for yours.
Nora, we've been through this. We're not youngsters anymore. Nobody says it's going to be easy to raise a little girl, but she's all alone.
You know she's not.
Both her parents are dead, and those two boys are not going to take their place.
They're not bad people, Cam.
I didn't say they were. But they're not going to play house with my little niece, and they're not going to make her part of their disease.
Famous fried chicken isn't moving as quickly as I thought.
I guess I wasn't that hungry.
I'm beginning to feel really guilty.
Don't be ridiculous.
I mean it. If I hadn't gotten us lost, none of this would have happened.
And if Marty Yamagata's daughter hadn't been hit in the mouth with a softball, I'd be stuck here with him.
Look how clear it is. You can count the stars on Orion's belt. Look. We don't get out of the city enough, do we? Devil day coming on? Come on, Peter. I know you. You're not really worried, are you?
No, we'll be fine. We got a blanket. We got the nice warm fire. Just hike out of here in the morning.
Morning. Couldn't you just kill for a cup of hot coffee? What's the matter?
Oh, my leg's falling asleep. Pins and needles, my arm. You got any aspirin in your navigator bag?
I don't know. I'll look.
My head feels like it's exploding.
I'm going for help.
No, it's too far.
Don't worry. I'll be okay.
No, I can't let you.
You all right? Look, Peter, I gotta get you help. Now, you just stay put. You warm enough?
Mm-hmm. Christine, please be careful.
I'll be back so fast you won't even know I was gone.
Is Mr. McDermott in yet?
Haven't seen him.
That race must have really taken it out of him. Is Christine up there?
Come to think of it, we haven't seen her either.
Good morning, Mr. McDermott's office. I see. Oh, could you hold on a moment? It's one of the rally officials. Something's happened. Christine and Mr. McDermott never even reached the halfway point of that race they were in.
Hello?
Been a most difficult decision for me. I'm particularly aware that some may consider my opinion to constitute a precedent. I've tried to keep this out of my mind in the interest of coming to a just and reasonable ruling. Having listened to the arguments presented by both sides, it is my firm belief that society cannot tolerate the presence of a small child in the home of two self-admitted homosexuals. Custody of the minor child, Jody Beth Abbott, is awarded to the petitioners, Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler, with the right of reasonable visitation accorded to the objectors.
Thank you, Reese. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
I brought help.
I tried getting up.
It's okay. We're not that far from the city. We'll get you an ambulance. Everything's going to be all right, I promise.
Christine, I don't know what's wrong. But my right side, I can't feel anything. It's paralyzed.
Lashes get long, lashes get lush.
Without all the fuss.
CoverGirl Long and Lush Mascara goes on clean without clumping, stays on clean without smudging.
Without all the fuss.
CoverGirl Long and Lush Mascara.
For a beautiful body, just pump, pump. For beautiful skin, you just pump.
It's here. Medicated Noxzema Skin Cream with a pump. It cleans like no soap can and doesn't dry.
For beautiful skin, you just pump.
Noxzema with a pump.
You know why I'm so popular with women? Because I never promise what I can't deliver. When they want a wine cooler with great taste, I always promise them Sun Country. They love its refreshing blend of premium wine and real fruit juice. Sometimes I even deliver the Sun Country myself. That's called special delivery. Sun Country. Say, give me the real juice cooler. Remember, if you want to stay popular with your women, promise them the moon, but give them the sun.
Our son is not a murderer.
He's enjoying.
I could have done it.
The Colby's Thursday.
Why most of us are dissatisfied with our bodies, even if we look terrific. Watch 2020 Thursday.
Hotel will continue in a moment.
It's every father's dream to work with his children. And my sons are about to become my on-screen partners.
Ready to roll, Flash?
Hey, kid, I'm not gonna bust you!
It's your nightmare, Frankie. You're the only guy that can wake up and stop it.
Robert Conrad is Charlie Hanna.
Have your family join our family. I dare you.
Saturday, April 5th.
Introducing a spectacular new ice cream dessert called Viennetta. But despite its deliciously rich ice cream, its irresistible, crisp, chocolatey layers, Viennetta could leave you with one small problem. Viennetta from Good Humor. One slice is never enough.
Get in the Jeopardy habit, weekdays at 3:30.
This is an Eyewitness News Brief brought to you by Ameritech Bell Yellow Pages. Here's Harry Porterfield.
Good evening. Tonight at 10, the latest on 210's hot spots. In Honduras, American pilots are ferrying Honduran troops to the front to fight Nicaraguans. Plus, from Libya, our first look at the damage from American missiles knocking out gunboats. Plus, a woman arguing with his boyfriend allegedly starts a dangerous fire on the south side. Now, this.
When you're looking for fun, there's one place to find all kinds.
Ameritech Bell Yellow Pages.
The complete, the accurate, the original, the one you know. Published by Donnelly Directory.
Also tonight, one of the hottest designers in the world is set to open a Chicago store. And tonight shows off his spring and summer fashions.
Everything's all right. After all, Mr. McDermott has been in rallies before.
Then why haven't they called?
Well, he may have had a flat, car broke down, something simple like that.
They could be lost.
Well, that would explain everything, wouldn't it? So you mustn't worry.
Mr. Wheeler.
You know, Jody is upstairs with the babysitter. Can't we talk to these people later?
Were you surprised by today's ruling, Mr. Wheeler?
Not at all. What's the youngster's reaction? Didn't she testify against you?
We challenged a will. No one was on trial.
Didn't you say morality was?
Do you feel you've gone against the wishes of the deceased?
We tried to do what was best for Jody.
Isn't that what her mother had in mind?
Jody? It was just on the radio.
Can I talk to you about it? Please.
I didn't mean to break the dollhouse. I'm sorry. But I still mean what I said to the judge. I want to live with Dr. Mike and Alex.
Come here, dear. You don't think that we did this to hurt you. Besides, you know, Michael and Alex are very busy, and they won't have as much time for you as I do. I'll be home when you get back from school. I can take you to ballet and piano.
I don't play the piano. I can't even carry a tune.
Well, I'll teach you. Whatever that you want, Jody. So long as you believe that we love you.
But you didn't love my mom, did you?
How can you say that? She was my sister.
Then why can't you do what she wanted? She knew what was right for me. We talked about it. We planned it together when she got sick. No matter what any judge says, that's the truth. And it always will be.
Dr. Adams to radiology. Dr. Adams to radiology.
What's the matter with him, Doctor?
Well, I can only conjecture. Your friend suffered a head injury. The paralysis may have been brought out by a subdural hematoma.
I'm sorry, can you translate that?
When he struck his head, a blood vessel might have hemorrhaged, causing a clot to form between his brain and his skull.
Okay, what does that mean?
Well, we'll have to see what the spinal tap looks like and the results of the x-rays. Look, this is going to take a couple of hours. If you'd like to leave your number, the nurses.
No, I want to be here when he gets back. I'll wait.
We have to get him down X-ray now.
Call me the moment you hear anything. Yes, Christine. Yes, as soon as I can. Sorry. This has not been a day to celebrate for lots of reasons. Michael, I know you're hurting, but you've only lost the first round.
You know, Wheeler wouldn't even let us tell Jody in person.
People are frightened of what they don't understand. They see your lifestyle as threatening their values.
I believe in God and country. Why is it so difficult for people to be tolerant? They're seeing the world through blinders.
All the more reason why you can't give up. You've got a good chance to win an appeal, Michael. And you're not the only substitute parents that this will affect.
I'm afraid at this point we're no longer substitutes. We're symbols. Rather battered ones at that.
Dr. West, extension 547. Dr. West, extension 547.
It's all my fault.
Come on, you're not gonna pull that on us.
I got us lost. We ended up on some road.
Hey, come on. Could have happened anywhere. How's he doing?
Oh, I spoke to the doctor earlier. They're not finished with their tests.
Well, do they have any idea what's wrong?
They think it's a subdural hematoma.
What?
A blood clot.
They have to operate?
If it is a hematoma, they don't operate. He's gonna die.
What the hell's going on, Mike? We're not the scum of the earth. You're a doctor, for God's sake. We got nice friends, all this love to give her. Look, we'll appeal. To what? Human decency or a higher court? Remember Gay Pride Week last year? We watched them marching on the news. I remember thinking, how we're not like that. We don't go out and make a public spectacle of our sex life. Know something? I got pride in me and you and our life together. And no judge in the world is going to take that away from us.
You're gonna love your new little friends, Ready?
We're not leaving tomorrow, are we?
Of course we are, honey. We've got your room all fixed up.
But all my friends are here. I don't know anyone in Reading.
You'll make new friends, don't worry. How about some strawberry shortcake? I bet it's not as good as yours, Mom.
I don't want any, thank you. Can I go upstairs now?
Come on, you two. I'm feeling a whole lot better. Why don't you call it a day?
He's right, Mrs. Gavin. It's getting late.
Don't forget, you need some rest, too. And Peter, I'll call you in the morning and...
You look so much better than you did this morning. At least that headache's gone.
Why don't you go on home? You look like you're running on empty.
I'm okay. Terry brought over a change of clothes. If only we had some answers.
He means a great deal to me, too.
I've feel so helpless, Mrs. Cabot.
You're here. That's as much help as any of us can give.
All I'm saying is that we're taking her away from everything that she understands.
No, she's 11 years old.
Jody? Honey, are you all right? Jody, dear. Isn't it time for you to try to understand her?
I'm gonna have the chef whip you up a batch of your favorite blueberry pancakes for breakfast.
Miss Francis? Hi. It's what I thought. The X-ray showed a linear skull fracture. That and the results of the spinal tap and the carotid angiogram we gave him. It's a subdural.
What happens now?
Well, we have to clear out the clot. Don't worry, it's pretty routine. Mr. McDermott, we have the test results. Mr. McDermott? Mr. McDermott? Can you hear me? Mr. McDermott?
Well, he was awake a second ago. Peter! Peter, say something.
He slipped into coma. If we don't operate tonight, he may never come out of it.
You'd never expect to catch a fish in downtown Austin. Yet that's the reason people come to the Austin Angler. One of the few places in Texas you can get a custom-made split bamboo fly rod and a fresh-tied woolly one to go on the end. So if you go there, remember, keep your rod tip up and put your Visa card down. Because at the Angler, they don't take fishing lightly, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I don't usually do this, but I saw this number on TV, and I called it. It's to the National Cancer Institute. And what I found out is pretty convincing. They believe that a high-fiber, low-fat diet may reduce the risk of some kinds of cancer. So I made some changes, like eating All Bran, the natural high-fiber cereal from Kellogg's. You know, I'm glad I called that number.
Kellogg's All Bran. For more facts, call the National Cancer Institute, toll-free.
It's a job where you just can't put up with a headache.
People are telling us about the Nuprin difference.
I use Nuprin instead of Tylenol. The difference is that Nuprin relieves pain better.
Nuprin works great, and it doesn't upset my stomach like aspirin.
Nuprin contains the non-prescription strength of the medicine in Motrin tablets. Compared to the regular strengths of aspirin or Tylenol, Nuprin has more pain-relieving strength.
There's a difference with Nuprin. It gives me better pain relief.
Nuprin, the difference you can feel.
A couple of years ago, I found myself in a situation where I had to cheer up a clown. The circus was passing through Pittsburgh, and he'd broken his glasses. He bought his glasses at Pearl, but in Denver. So he was happy to hear that with the Pearl guarantee, he could get glasses replaced free at any Pearl, in any city.
Pearl people know eyes, and they care.
It was nice knowing I could make a clown smile.
Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl.
Saturday, lose those winter blues and feel the heat of the Caribbean.
That's great!
Cruise the islands with Lana Turner, Andrew Stevens, and more. A special 2-hour love boat.
Yeah, who is it?
It's me, Jody.
What happened?
I ran away, and I didn't know where I was. And I was so scared. And then this lady gave me directions.
It's okay. You're safe now. You're with us. And you better call the Wheelers.
I don't want them to know.
Jody, they'll be worried.
No, they won't. Why should they be? They don't even love me.
Come on, honey. You know they do. Wait. Oh. Wait a minute.
You tell them where I am. Then you don't love me either.
Jody, that is not true.
Then hide me. They'll go away. I can stay with you.
It's not that easy, Jody. Alex and I love you very, very much. I wish the judge would have allowed you to stay with us, but we have to obey the law, whether we agree with it or not.
What good is the law? It doesn't care about a person's feelings.
Guess what? I found out what real means. It's a tiny stream. Who would have thought that a lousy trickle of water could have screwed us up like that?
You better try and get some rest. It's gonna be hours, and he'll be in post-op after that.
Don't stay away, Peter. I'll be here. I need you.
I've been calling that hospital ever since I got up. No one will give me a straight answer.
Well, I'm going over there now. I'll see what I can find out.
I'll see you there.
This really isn't fair, Victoria, that I've gotten you involved. We know what you're going through right now.
What's unfair is you expecting so little of your friends. I'm Victoria Cabot. Thank you for coming.
Jody. Darling. We were so worried.
Hi, sweetheart. Mrs. Cabot, do you mind telling us why we were called here?
Let's say I'm a friend of the family. I've known Dr. Vaughn since he was a boy. Considering the acrimony between you, I thought you'd appreciate meeting on neutral ground.
Sweetheart, why did you run away?
You haven't figured that out yet, Alex. I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but at this late date, the problem isn't our manners, is it?
At this late date, I see no reason to continue this discussion. Jody, we allowed you to stay the night with your friends. Now say goodbye. You'll see them again.
May I ask one question, Mr. Wheeler?
Mrs. Cabot, this is really none of your concern. The debate is closed.
Surely your heart isn't.
Time to go settle the bill, Laura.
I don't know what to do, Mrs. Cabot. I'm supposed to feel grateful that this is over. I don't. I thought we were doing the right thing.
And now?
When a child's in pain, how can that be right? Jody, come on, dear. Come on. How is he?
We cleared out the clot. He's in post-op.
Think he's gonna be all right?
It's still too early to tell.
What are you talking about?
I don't mean to paint a bleak picture, but there's just no way of knowing if he suffered any brain damage.
You mean possible loss of the use of his arm or leg?
I'm sorry, but I think he should be prepared. There's a chance he may never come out of the coma.
Where's Jody? You leave her alone?
Are you afraid she's going to run away again? Come over here. Please. We can't go through with this.
Of course we can, and we will. We won. It's legal. She's ours.
She's Carol's child. And we can give her all the love in the world. And she's still going to hate us for going against my sister's wishes. I couldn't bear that.
Do you want them to raise her? To teach her
They
all of...
won't. You know that. What they do in private is nobody's business. Not ours, not Jody's, not anybody's. Cam, listen. Carol was ready to marry Dr. Vaughn just to make sure that her will was implemented.
She was distraught. She knew she was terminal.
She knew what was best for her daughter. And we have to honor that.
What kind of a home life will she have with those two?
Two men. They're hardworking, caring, same as you and me. Jody will never be corrupted by love. And you know how much she loves them. Do you want to take the responsibility for destroying that child's goodness?
Is there anything more they can do for him?
Could be hours, days. There's no way of knowing if they'll ever wake up.
We're not going to lose her, Mrs. Kennedy.
What does the doctor say?
Wait.
That's the hardest part, isn't it? Whatever happens, you mustn't lose hope.
Well, that's everything. I'll wait in the car, Nora.
Mr. Wheeler, we don't know what to say except thank you.
Uncle Cam, please don't be mad at me. I want us to be friends. Really, I do.
That's all right. You don't have to pretend.
I'm not, honest. You and Nora are the only aunt and uncle I have. I love you for finally listening to me.
We love you too, sweetheart. As long as you know that.
We're all going to try very hard.
Come on, Jody. Let's go home.
Code blue, room 359. Code blue, room 359.
Did you ever lose a friend? Somebody really cared about? No, I guess I've been pretty lucky. Maybe your luck will hold out. Let's hope so.
Hi. Any word?
No change.
Is that good?
I think if it was good, they'd be smiling.
We saw Mrs. Cabot in the hall.
Yeah, she went to speak to his doctor.
How's Christine holding up?
Well, they're only letting one person in at a time, and she's in with them now.
Dr. Hill to emergency. Dr. Hill.
You can't do this to me, Peter. I'm not gonna let you get away with this. You're not gonna get off that easy. You gotta give me some answers first. Like why you didn't kiss me. The stars were out. I was perfect. Now it's anything but. Don't leave me, Peter. We haven't finished yet. We haven't even started.
Is that my navigator?
I guess we didn't win, did we?
No. There's always next time.
Only if you promise to get us lost again.
We'll be right back.
Ann McKenzie, interior decorator for Endust.
You're using spray wax for everyday cleaning? What's wrong with that? Frequent use of Pledge can cause wax buildup. Just use it occasionally to polish furniture. For day-to-day dusting and cleaning, Endust cleans better. Look, Pledge's wax can actually trap dirt on the surface. Endust frees more dirt and cleans better without wax. So use spray wax for occasional waxing, but for day-to-day dusting and cleaning, Endust cleans better.
Feels so good. Coming down, down. Feels so good on this thirsty town. 7-Up splashing on the fun. Pouring good and clear on everyone. 7-Up feels so good. Something so good. 7-Up.
Looking for a loan? Tried talking to a financial institution? Big, impersonal. Looks like you need a friend. At Beneficial, we're big. Hi, I'm Fred. But very personal. You'll talk to the boss when you talk to Beneficial, so there's no committee, no waiting. Everything could be wrapped up in 24 hours. Congratulations. Thanks, big guy. Thank you. Beneficial. Talk to the manager, and you're talking to the boss.
I never thought I'd see the day. Doris Gilbert using bleach?
I do now. Look, new fresh scent Clorox bleach. It's got a fresh outdoorsy smell.
Smells great. So now there are 2 kinds of Clorox bleach. But will your Clorox clean stains as well as mine?
Let's find out.
No stains. We both win.
Regular and new fresh scent Clorox bleach. Now Clorox Clean comes 2 ways.
Thursday, an incredible tale of faith and courage.
Save me!
Martin Sheen, Alan Arkin, the fourth wise man.
What, a movie? I'd be terrified.
You guys sound like you're going to do a love scene.
Well, sure, honey. Didn't I tell you?
Next on Hotel.
Would you say that what happened to you was a miracle? You're her. You've got to help my boy.
I'm really scared, Roy. Everybody is treating me like a freak.
You're blessed. You're a healer.
He's a criminal you met in jail. We don't always choose the people we fall in love with.
I can't let you destroy my friend.
Can't call the cops either, can you? They'd arrest her, too.
I may risk that.
Later tonight on Nightline, the Senate is getting ready to vote on President Reagan's bid to arm Nicaragua's Contra rebels. The latest live from the Senate and Nicaragua tonight.
This is Joan London. Tomorrow on Good Morning America, we'll have all the news from Libya and Nicaragua. Find out what happens when soap actors change soaps. How do their fans react? Plus Keith Carradine on Good Morning America.
And later tonight, following Nightline, it's the 25th anniversary of Rocky and Bullwinkle, plus the Monopoly Game National Championship in Los Angeles on Ion Hollywood.
Don't drink and drive. A public service message from ABC.
Peter Jennings, particularly impressive during the past year, says New York Magazine. Jennings seems authentically interested in what's happening, the nation. Of the three network anchors, Americans ranked Peter Jennings highest in believability. Peter Jennings, uniquely qualified to bring you the world.
Eyewitness News at 10 is next. Tonight, the U.S. is involved in another diplomatic drama as American pilots are flying Honduran troops to the front to battle Nicaraguan invaders. Plus the first pictures of the American attacks on Libyan gunboats as security at airports in Chicago and across the country is beefed up.
Also tonight, the insurance crisis that could leave a Chicago area community without use of some recreational facilities. We'll look at what one suburb is doing about the problem. Plus, the latest in spring and summer fashions from the man credited with creating the Miami Vice look. We will have these stories and much more on Eyewitness News at 10.
Are you ready for summer? The competition is.
What? You're not ready for summer? Gained a few pounds? Well, summer's coming, and you've got to get ready. I have the solution.
Chicago Health and Racquetball Club. Join now and get spring and summer dues free. Don't procrastinate. Make the commitment now and watch how fast you see results.
Why should you worry about shaping up for summer in the middle of winter?
Join now and get spring and summer dues free. Some restrictions apply.
Don't let these low prices fool you. This is quality menswear. The fabric, the workmanship, the label. They all say quality. And when you buy it at TJ Maxx and save 20 to 60%, that's value. From sportswear to children's wear, domestics or gifts, your money goes a whole lot further at TJ Maxx.
You get the max for the minimum at TJ Maxx.
Every Dean's ice cream is bursting with natural flavor because only Dean's has the country charm recipe that brings out the rich, real taste of our delicious natural flavors. So with Dean's, you can taste how much we care, and we're bursting to show you.
We're going hopping with Dick Clark, Thursday at 9.
This is Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Harry Porterfield for John Drury and Joan Esposito for Marianne Childers, Steve Beschler's weather, Tim Weigel on sports, and the Eyewitness News team. This is Eyewitness News.
Good evening. As American helicopters now ferry Honduran troops to battle Nicaraguan Sandinistas, the U.S. Senate gets ready to consider President Reagan's request for $100 million in aid for the Nicaraguan rebels. That request, which just last week appeared in trouble, is being revived by this new sense of crisis. U.S. military helicopters, 4 large aircraft and about 10 smaller ones, were crisscrossing Honduras today. 50 American airmen were on board, ferrying Honduran troops closer to the Nicaraguan border. The White House says the Americans are under strict orders to avoid the combat area. In all, 600 Honduran soldiers were taken to the area where Nicaraguan Sandinista troops reportedly crossed the border to attack Contra rebel bases in Honduras. While Honduras says the invasion was not large-scale, The country's armed forces today presented 2 men it said were captured Sandinista soldiers. Nicaragua's Sandinista government denies any invasion at all. All of this is difficult to confirm because journalists were kept out of the area by soldiers. There are conflicting reports about numbers of casualties and invading forces, and all this has touched off speculation in Congress that the Reagan administration is, quote, magnifying the incident to gain approval for $100 million in aid for the Contra rebels.
Without question, there's an enormous offensive underway. What we're not sure of is whether it's a public relations offensive by the administration to get aid for the Contras, or whether there's a military offensive by the Nicaraguans.
But the Reagan administration produced a letter from the Honduran president asking for today's help. Meanwhile, a day of discussion in the Senate failed to produce any agreement about aid for the Contras.
This administration has done best when it has played a statesman and not played Rambo. This administration is playing Rambo in Nicaragua, and the American people want it to halt.
We are faced with a new problem, a new reality, a communist foothold on the mainland of the Americas.
The Senate now hopes to vote on the aid request tomorrow. Most observers believe the Nicaraguan invasion has greatly improved the president's chance of winning support for the Contras. Harry?
John, in the Mediterranean's Gulf of Sidra, a tense standoff between American and Libyan forces continues tonight. And though there have been no new confrontations, the U.S. did release the first hard evidence of Monday's clash.
This Navy photo shows the destruction American planes unleashed on a Libyan ship that usually carries anti-aircraft weapons and anti-ship missiles. It was left dead in the water. Today, U.S. flight operations continued off the coast of Libya, but there's been no hostile action since early Tuesday. Nevertheless, American seamen and flyers remain ready to defend themselves, and according to the Navy, are doing a great job.
These kids have been flying around the clock, not knowing where they're going to be shot at or not, and I think they've used extremely good judgment and operated very well.
The streets of Libya were also quiet today, but Colonel Gaddafi's Libyan radio urged Arabs to transform themselves into suicide squads and attack American embassies. State Department officials are taking that threat seriously and are intensifying security at U.S. installations at home and abroad.
And a security alert has also been issued tonight at O'Hare, Midway, and Meigs airports here in Chicago to guard against possible terrorist attacks. Joan?
Here in Illinois, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Adlai Stevenson is just about set to leave the party. Rather than run with a lieutenant governor loyal to Lyndon LaRouche, Stevenson will create a new slate of candidates for statewide office. Andy Shaw is here with details on that. Andy?
Well, Joan, Adlai Stevenson's never been popular in party circles, and that's one reason the other Democrats refused to join a third party with him. So Adlai's about to go it alone, a new ticket free of the LaRouche candidates, and totally dependent on the voters going out of their way to help.
I am confident that we could educate the public, given the heightened interest in this matter.
Adlai Stevenson, jumping off the Democratic ballot, running on a third-party ticket, and hoping the voters come along to help him and the other Democrats dump the LaRouche candidates and elect themselves. He's asking voters to punch a straight Democratic ballot in November, Alan Dixon for Senator, Neil Hartigan Attorney General, and the other statewide candidates. Then cross over and punch once for him and his lieutenant governor, and once for his Secretary of State candidate. Those crossovers cancel the straight Democratic votes for the LaRouche followers on the ticket.
We might say punch 10, punch 14, and 16. It's not a very difficult transaction.
Sounds easy, but it's full of problems. The biggest, Stevenson's required by law to fill up his new slate with candidates for all the other statewide positions, even though he's already supporting the Democratic nominees for those posts.
The General Assembly itself could change that law and make it effective immediately.
But Governor Thompson won't sign a